this is a system of equations. So specifically we are going to solve these two systems of equation. So that is all under exponential equations, right? So if you're able to solve these two, you can solve more than two, and so on and so forth. Now before you proceed, you must make sure that you understand the meaning of the word systems of the equation. Now let's demonstrate that by this simple example here. So let's say x here can be your savings, right? So maybe you and your friend are saving for to buy any item that you wish. So here this should be your savings. So if this is your savings, the amount that you want to contribute, for sure the things that you are going to buy on the day one, that costs you just an amount of $10, or maybe the next time you want to buy that is going to be $16, right? So just for an assumption purpose, this is the savings of your friend. Now the two of you, if you combine your amount, that should be equal to $10, right? So maybe equivalent to your currency. Now on the second day, maybe your friend says that maybe you don't have money, so he or she wants to contribute 2 times of whatever he or she has already contributed. Now so the difference between you and that amount of your friend is going to be $16, right? So the key here, someone can say that from this point here, someone can say maybe let's contribute $5 and then $5. So 5 plus, so that should be equal to $10. Okay, so another person can say that why don't you take $7, then I pay what, $3, and so on and so forth. So there are so many numbers that can give us this $10. That is why the system of equation is needed for us to make sure that the value, the amount that you contribute in the first day should be the same amount that you are going to contribute on the second day, and so on and so forth. So that is how the system of equation is needed in solving something that goes like this. Now moving on to the exponential part. So these are the two questions that we have, right? So there are ways of solving the system of equations. So one is by using substitution or maybe elimination, and so on and so forth. But there's another step here. So that step here is this is an exponential equation. So by the way, if you want to know more about exponential equation, just check our playlist down below, or maybe you may subscribe to the channel or comment down below if you need help on our exponential equations. Now the key to solve this thing here is that you must make sure that this guy at the top is still 3 raised to the power x plus 9 y, that is equal to 243, must come down to something that goes like this, right? So what I mean that is, this is technical, that is what we call a linear. This is not being raised to any power, right? So these people have been raised to power, right? So 3 exponential s plus y, that's everything equal to 200. So you have to break this guy down. So solving on this guy here, so the top here, right? So that can be written as 3x plus or y, that is equal to, you have to make sure that this guy here follows the number that is here in some cases. So can we have a 3 raised to certain number that will give us 243? That is the point there, right? So if that happens, why are we doing that? So let's see. So 3 raised to the power 5 here will be equal to 243. Is that okay? So this means that 3 multiplied by 3 and then multiply by 3 5 times. So you may check that and see if you are going to have the same value here. Okay, once that happens here, you can see clearly that this number here, and then this one are the same, right? So this one and this number are the same. If that happens, then we can easily equate their exponents, whatever they are carrying. This guy here, assuming that this is your father gave birth to some 2 children somewhere, and then maybe later on you got to find that it's the same father, right? So 33, right? So the same father here. So he already have a son or a daughter somewhere. That is this guy at the top here. So it's the same father. So the children are the same, right? So the children are the same. They all belong to the same father. So we can easily say from here that we have s plus y equal to 5, right? So it's the same father that we are talking about. Is that okay? So if that is the case, then we can easily solve this equation here, this one, right? So this 3x plus y equal to 9, and then we can solve this one as well, right, using what we call simultaneous equation, right? So you must know how to solve simultaneous equation by their method. So let's see how to solve these two equations. So these are the two equations that we arrive at. So maybe we may name this one equation 1 and then name this one equation 2, right? So maybe some one can go for substitution, or maybe another person can also go for elimination. So maybe here we can say that I'm going to use elimination, right? So if you don't know the difference between the two, just try and comment in the comment section. We will make a special video for you to understand this thing step by step. So by what? Elimination, right? So elimination, yeah. By elimination, so what we can say equation 2 minus equation 1. So we are going to subtract these two people. So what are we going to get? So let's do the subtraction here. So 3x plus y, and that is equal to 9, right? And then we have, remember I said 2 minus what? Minus 1. So that is the x, and then plus y, and that is equal to 5. So we know how to subtract. That one goes for 4, right? So this minus that should be 4. And then remember it's subtraction, so y minus y, that should be equal to 0, right? So y minus y is just like 1 minus 1, that is equal to 0. And then we have what? 3x minus x here, so that's just 3 minus 1, because these people are the same, right? Okay, perfect. So that's going to be 2x. Remember there's an equal to sign. So now this brings it to something that we already know how to solve. So here we are going to divide both sides by 2, and then divide here by 2. So we had our x to be equal to 2. Is that okay? So perfect. Now after finding the values of the one person, or maybe the price one person can contribute, now here you just need to pick this guy and go and substitute that into what? Either equation 2 or equation 1, right? So any one of your own choice is accepted. So maybe someone will go for 2, or another person will go for what? Equation 1, right? So all of them is satisfied. So maybe this seems easier, right? So we are going to replace this x here by 2, right? So our equation here tends to be 2 plus y, and that is equal to 5. So solving for this y here, we are going to subtract both sides by 2. So y is equal to 5, and then minus 2. So y is equal to 3. Right, so these are the two values that we needed for us to make sure that those two equations hold. Now you may check that, you may pick that one by one, and then go and plug in inside the equation, the original equation, and see if that is true, right? So try it out in the comment section, and then let's proceed to the next question. Okay, if you are still here, congratulations. So maybe thumbs up for just trying, right? Okay, perfect. So this is the second question that we are having. Now this looks similar to the previous question, right? So the key here is to try and check if you can have this guy be converted to a 5 raised to the power something, right? So if that happens, then we can easily go with the exponent. But remember something is happening here. Remember, there is no way you can convert this guy 5 raised to certain power, and then when you are done, you use the exponent and then equate it, because there's no law that says that if these people are adding, then you can easily equate their exponent. That is not the law. That's why you need to check our exponential playlist down below for you to understand more. Now the way of solving this problem here is that from this should be the equation 1, and then this should be the equation 2. Now that we have a clear understanding of the exponential equations or systems of equation, here we are going to use a substitution. So by what? By sub, right? So by substitution method. So here from the equation 2, so from equation what? Equation 2, can you see? So this should be the equation 2. We have x equal to 1 plus what? Plus y. Can you see here we are making the x the subject, so we take this guy to the other side of maybe you can add y to both sides of the equation. That is why I got this equation. Now that we have this equation, this is just like solving something very simple or similar, like let's say x plus y, and that is equal to 3, and then x minus y, and that is equal to 2, right? So if you're able to find maybe x to be equal to let's say 1, just example, right? So an assumption, if you have this guy, just pick that and plug that into one of the equations, then and move on. Okay, so now we have s to be equal to y, 1 plus or plus y. We are going to pick this guy and then substitute that into the second equation, right? So because we make the s the subject from the what? We make s the subject from the second equation, so we have to pick that and plug that into the first one. right? So make sure that you obey that or that simple law. So wherever you make the guy to be the subject, there's no way you can put that guy inside that same equation again. So unless you send that to the next part of the equation. So what that means is that wherever you see the x here, we are going to replace that by what? By 1 plus or plus y. So here we are going to have 5x here. 5s is going to be 1 plus y, so plus y 5 raised to the power y, so everything is equal to 150. Is that okay? So this is where some of the laws of the indices are needed, right? So you must once again try and check the playlist, right? So if you have any question, don't forget to comment along, so we are ready to help you. Now, how can we proceed from this point here? So one law of the indices says that if two people are multiplying and then the bases are the same, right? So you can easily add their exponents, right? So if you don't know that law, just check that below, right? So here from here we can apply that law on only these aspects here. So this we have 1 plus y plus of 5 raised to the power y, everything is equal to 150, right? So this is what you're having. So here you can have that to be 5 raised to the power 1 multiplied by 5 raised to the power y, right? And then plus of 5 raised to the power y, everything is equal to 150. Is that okay? So perfect. We are just applying the law on what? This part. Right? The law says that if these two people are multiplying and the base, the guy at the down here are the same, we can easily add their exponent. So this guy tends to be 5 exponent 1, that should just be 5. So we have 5y, right? And then plus 5 exponent y, everything is equal to 150. Is that okay? So what is next from this point? So look at something from here. We can have this guy to be equal to, so there's one here, there's one, this guys, or there's a one here, maybe 1 5 exponent or exponent. This is what I'm trying to say. So if you have 2 outside and then let's say I have 2s plus another x here, what is happening, right? So what is happening, we can choose to combine these two people together and then what, and move on. But here there's a 1 here, right? So this guy is multiply this, and then at the same time the guy is multiply what is outside there. Doesn't make a simple sense over there. So what we are going to do here is that 5 plus what 1, that will be equal to 6. So we take one of this guy out, right? So we can easily bring the s out here, right? So here in this bracket we are going to have what, 2 plus or plus 1. Does it make sense? Because the 2 is already there multiplying, right? So here from this point the 2 is already here multiplying. So let's bring the s, one of the x out here. Maybe let's say this one raised to the power 2, right? So something of that nature, right? Or maybe we can ignore this guy just for understanding purpose. Let's leave it as it is, right? So you have the x here, we can factor the x out and then add these two people, right? So that's the idea that we are going to use here. So factoring this 5y out here, we have what, 5 plus or plus 1. Is that okay? Because there's 1 here, so let's just bring the 5y out, so everything goes to 150. Okay, so perfect. So here we are going to have 6 5 exponent y, that is equal to 150, right? So I just bring the number first. Is that okay? So what are we looking for? So from this point you can easily say divide both sides by 6 and then divide here by 6. So you have what, 5y, that is equal to this guy being divided by 6, that's going to be 25, right? So 25, right? Okay, perfect. So here at this point, that is where we are going to apply the law of the indices. So that is going to be 5y, that is equal to 5 raised to the power 5, right? So if these two bases are the same, you can just equate their exponents and then go away. So here we can say that our y is equal to 2, right? So this is the values of the y. If you gain some value from this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more content, and just comment down below if you have any special question.